Hey y'all, it's your girl Lalah Hathaway, and you're listening to YouKnowIGotSoul.com. Hi, this is Lalah Hathaway calling.
Oh, hi Lalah, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for taking the time for this interview.
Absolutely.
I was actually part of the teleconference you had last week, so I just had a couple of follow-up questions for you.
Right on.
Cool, so I'll get started right away. If you could, in your own words, your new album, Where It All Begins, is coming out later this month. Can you just describe what the fans can expect to find on there?
Well, what I'm hoping that they experience is kind of a total 360 experience with me. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of variation, a lot of light and shadow kind of on the record.
Yeah.
Sort of a variation of tempos, and what I hope they have sort of is what we do live. They have sort of that live experience, which is, wow, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also hope that they hear some of the stuff that they love, some of those fan favorites like I'm Coming Back. And for people that are new to me, I just hope they enjoy it and they come back again. Mm-hmm. I never try to really describe what they're going to get because that gives it a label. I'd like for them to let me know what they got. You know what I mean?
Okay. And I know in the teleconference you explained this album is, in a way, a love letter to your parents. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, it's really about the beginnings of me, and the cover art is sort of what that is. Like my mom and dad on the cover with me. It really is the beginning of me. They really did a great job in terms of imparting this music to me. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people I really chose well. If I chose my parents, I really, really did choose well.
Yeah.
In terms of who they are and who I have turned out to be, who I am turning out to be, I really did. I did pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You mentioned the cover art being a tribute, to your mother and father, and especially with your father. How important is it for you to just, continue to pay tribute to him throughout your career?
Absolutely, 100%. And every time I do this, every time I get up to sing, I honor my father and my mother. I just represent. And in a large way, he was here so that I could get here, and then in a really large way, I'm here so that he can remain here. Mm-hmm. And it's a cycle.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and I had a chance to listen to the album earlier this week, and a song that stood out to me was the title track, Where It All Begins. Can you just talk about that song and give me some background on it, please?
Yeah, written by Ernest Green and myself, presented to me by my good friend Bobby Sparks, who is a keyboard player whom I met first playing in the Marcus Miller Band. And he's going to actually be joining me on tour in the next couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. Great keyboard player.
Yeah.
It was one of those songs, as soon as I heard the track, I knew I wanted the song. I knew I wanted to write to it.
Yeah. And
I had the concepts for it, but I just really sat down one day and fleshed it out. And I really loved the arrangement, particularly listening to it in headphones. It had so much depth and color to it, and it had all this little ear candy, and it just reminded me of, something sort of circa 1977, something kind of Roy Ayers-ish, something that it was just fluid and very organic, and I wanted the vocal arrangement to match that. Mm-hmm. So I really love that song. It's one of my favorite ones on the record.
Yeah, I love the vibe on that one. Is there one on the album that stands out to you as a favorite among the rest, or if you had to pick?
I don't have favorites. I really, Where It All Begins is a good one for me because I tend to listen to the record most like if I'm flying or if I'm in my car. And, just the sound of that record, sonically I really love all the live tracks, like You Were Meant for Me and I'm Coming Back. They take me to that moment where we were there in the studio with Phil Ramone recording them. Mm-hmm. I love Smile on My Back because it feels like it's one of those live tracks, but it's actually not. Yeah. And I love the arrangement of it and the color of it, and it's kind of vocally my tribute to MJ, Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that this record, among all my records, is my favorite record so far. Yeah. And it most closely mirrors my first experience in this business 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Talk about what it's been like working with Rashawn Patterson. You were on his latest album. I know he worked with you on this one. I know you guys are good friends. What's it like working with him?
Rashawn and I have been friends for, you know, close to 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's somebody I really count among as just one of my favorite artists. He's somebody who is also really one of my favorite writers. And so I learn a lot from him just working with him.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun together over the years. We go eat everywhere and have drinks everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason why we work so well is that you can really feel our synergy when we're together, because we just love each other like that.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy working with him. You know, someone like Michelle Farrell as well, a great friend of mine, and when we get together, you hear that. It makes sense that you hear that on the record. Mm-hmm. And so when you allow creative people to get together and have that conversation, that's what you get. You know, you get that. And so, yeah, it was really fun working with him. I'm on his record. I'm on Michelle Farrell's record as well. Mm-hmm. And he is on her record as well. So we all decided this year we were just all doing each other's records. We're going to do, yeah.
Cool, good stuff. You know, you've been in this industry as an artist for over 20 years now, and you know, your debut came out over 20 years ago. What inspires you to continue being creative as an artist?
I just really love music. It's so simple, but I really love music. I've grown up with music as a part of my life. It is, you know, like on those days, your birthday, your graduation, for some people their wedding day, their bar mitzvah, whatever these important days are that mark the passages of your life.
Yeah.
When I look around the room, music is in the room. Mm-hmm. Like another person is in the room. Hmm. It has been with me at every important step of my life, every sorrow, every heartbreak, every joy. It's always there, just like another human being.
Yeah.
And so it has been a tangible force in my life, just like some people have.
Yeah.
And so music keeps me going. I'm really energized by music. I'm moved by it. It is my passion. It is what I love to do. It is how I express myself. And when I die, I always tell people, you know, when I look around that room, it will be one of the people that I have to say goodbye to.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Okay. One last question for you. You know, in that time I mentioned you've been in this industry over 20 years. You know, the technology and especially social networking have changed. And, you know, how have you been able to adapt to that? And, you know, has it been hard to adapt to the changes?
Not at all. I am a techie, geeky chick anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, I started my website in 1998, and I saw a guy reviewing these fan sites, and he said, well, Lalah Hathaway had Twitter before it was Twitter. And had I known that Twitter would be worth $1 gazillion, I'd tried to figure out how to monetize it, but I have always been sort of leaning toward that part of society anyway. So for me, it's a great thing to be able to tell 50,000 people really swiftly, like, hey, my record's coming out.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So it really works. It is a way for me to communicate with the people that, in a way, I work for.
Yeah.
Every day. And so I do. I talk to them every day. I'm on my Twitter compulsively. It's a problem. Mm-hmm. But, you know, had I had Twitter in high school, it would have been a way better experience.
Yeah. All right, cool. And is there anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so. The record's on October 18th. You know that part already.
Yep. Okay.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I feel like I have more momentum than I have ever had in terms of putting out a record, and the social aspect, the social media aspect of that is probably the reason why. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited.